help me welcome to the stage Alan Stein Jr.
The first time I met Kobe Bryant, he said something to me that changed my life forever. See, back in 2007, Nike flew me out to Los Angeles to work the first ever Kobe Bryant Skills Academy. Nike brought in the top high school and college players from around the country for an intense 3-day mini camp with the best player in the world. And for any of you that don't follow basketball as closely as I do, just know that in 2007, Kobe was the best player in the game.
Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer, banks it in! He banks in the three!
Well, an important fact about me is basketball was my first love, my first passion. I fell in love with the game at 5 years old, and I am so grateful that here 4+ decades later, basketball is still a major pillar of my life. And having grown up so closely around the game, I'd always heard this urban legend of how insanely intense Kobe's individual workouts were. Well, when I found myself on his camp staff, I figured this is my chance. This is my shot. So at my earliest opportunity, I walked up to Kobe and asked if I could watch one of his private workouts. He was incredibly gracious. He smiled. He said, "Sure, man, no problem. I'm going tomorrow at 4." Well, I got a little bit confused because I had just got done looking through the camp schedule, and the camp schedule clearly said that the first workout with the players was the following day at 3:30. Well, Kobe recognized that confused look on my face and clarified that with, "Yeah, that's 4 a.m. Well, I couldn't think of a legitimate reason of why I couldn't be somewhere at 4 in the morning, so I committed myself to being there, and I figured if I'm going to be there anyway, I may as well leave my mark. I may as well show Kobe how serious of a trainer I was. So I came up with the plan to beat him to the gym. So I set my alarm for 3 a.m. The next morning, the alarm goes off. I quickly jump up, I get myself dressed, I hop in a cab, and I head to the gym. Now, when I arrive, it's 3:30 in the morning, so it's pitch black outside. But the moment I stepped out of the cab, I could see the gym light was already on. From the parking lot, I could faintly hear ball bouncing and sneakers squeaking. I walked in the side door of the gym. Kobe was already in a full sweat. See, he was going through an intense warm-up before his formal workout with his trainer started at 4. Well, out of professional courtesy, I didn't say anything to him. I didn't say anything to his trainer. I just sat down to watch. And for the first 45 minutes, I was shocked. For the first 45 minutes, I watched the best player on the planet do the most basic footwork and offensive moves. Kobe was doing stuff that I had routinely taught to middle school age players. Now don't get it twisted, this was Kobe Bryant. So he was doing everything with an unparalleled level of intensity and everything with surgical precision, but the stuff he was doing was incredibly basic. Well, his workout went on for a couple more hours, and when it was over, once again, I didn't say anything to him, I didn't say anything to his trainer, I just quietly left. But my curiosity kept nipping away, and it eventually overwhelmed me to the point that I had to know. So later that day at camp, I went up to him again and said, "Kobe, I don't understand. You're the best player in the world. Why were you doing such basic drills?" And he flashed that $1 million smile. He gave me a friendly wink, but he said something that changed my life forever. He said, "Why do you think I'm the best player in the world?" Because I never get bored with the basics. I never get bored with the basics. Kobe Bryant, the best player on the planet, and someone that has truly mastered his craft, said that his secret is that he never got bored with the basics. And as obvious as that might be to you all right now, that was a life-changing moment for me. See, it was in that moment that I finally realized that just because something is basic, it doesn't mean that it's easy. Those are not synonyms, and yet people mistakenly use those words as if they're interchangeable. Just because it's basic, it doesn't mean it's easy. If it was easy, everyone else would be doing it. And you all know that we live in a world that unconsciously tells us it's okay to skip steps. Tells us we should always be looking for a shortcut or a hack. Tells us we should constantly be chasing what's new and what's shiny and what's flashy and what's sexy. But I'm here to tell you, when you do those things, you're making a huge mistake. And that's because the basics work. They always have and they always will. And the very first step to improving performance in any area of your life, it doesn't matter if it's individual or organizational, it doesn't matter if it's personal or professional, the very first step is to admit that the basics work. But it's also having the humility to acknowledge that implementing the basics every single day is never, ever easy. Now, I would hope that the primary lesson from that story is blatantly obvious. And that is, this coming Monday, I want every one of you to start your workday at 3 a.m. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Take a breath. Here's what I do want you to do. I want you to spend this upcoming weekend getting clarity on the basics that you need to focus on to raise your game. In other words, I need you to get crystal clear on the fundamentals that you need to work towards mastery of primarily during the unseen hours so that you can show up consistently as the best version of yourself, ready to make a meaningful contribution to everyone and everything around you. And that's part of why I'm here today, is to help you with that.